South Africa observes Transport Month yearly in the month of October, and this is to raise awareness on the role of the transport sector in the country's economy and society. Now, the 2024-2025 festive season road safety statistics have showed us that over 1,500 people have died on the roads. This is an increase in the road fatalities from the previous year. Regrettably, this also highlights that road users continues to disobey traffic laws, which has had tragic consequences for injured survivors, and many families are in pain about losing loved ones in a road crash. Now, a state entity to consider at this time is the Road Accident Fund. So should you have any questions about the Road Accident Fund, do engage with us on 011 714 0677 0618 or 0619. Let's further unpack this now. We're joined by the Road Accident Fund Head of Corporate Communications, and that's McIntosh Polela online. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Polela. So the Road Accident Fund was created as a safety net somewhat for, a public good to protect anyone injured on the roads. But today we're seeing court battles, financial shortfalls, and accusations of dysfunction. The sense is that the Road Accident Fund has drifted away from its founding purpose, because when you listen to how people describe the fund, words like broken, words like unreachable, words like delayed are used. What do you make of this perception about the fund?
It's a correct perception. In fact, when you say that they're describing it now, it's not just now, it's always been that way. By way of background, the Road Accident Fund was created in 1946, and since then it's been bankrupt several times. It has had no less than 7 commissions of inquiry, and we're going to have another parliamentary inquiry, which is going to be the 8th. So yes, the Road Accident Fund is broken, and at the moment is severely dysfunctional. And without changing the RAF Act, there's nothing that you can do. Currently, the minister has rightly said that we are going to have an act going to Parliament to try and fix the institution. Otherwise, you're going to continue to have delays, because systemically the Road Accident Fund is broken, and we're going to have to rely on the act to try and fix it so that there are no delays in servicing the claimants that need this money so desperately after having a road accident. So the word broken that you use is exactly the right word.
You speak on behalf of the fund every day, Mr. Polela. What is the single biggest misconception that the public has about the fund, given all those words that we've used now, as there's often been talks about, modernizing claims, about cutting lawyers out and paying claimants directly, but many victims say that direct has come to mean difficult in a way. Just how do you reconcile the public statements about the efficiency of the fund with the ongoing reports of claimants waiting more than 18 months and some even not getting payment?
Yeah, so when people say direct means difficult, it's currently difficult to claim whether with a lawyer or not, and you're being very kind when you say 18 months. We have people on average waiting 2 to 3 years, because on average we don't get all the documents that we need to receive from the lawyers when people are represented by lawyers. And by way of context, 97% of our claimants are represented by lawyers, and only 3% are direct claimants. And so unfortunately that's just the way it is. I speak for the Road Accident Fund all the time, but I have to be honest about the problems that we have. And the problems that we have are such that the system is broken until, by an act of Parliament, we are able to fix it. We have a new board, we have an acting CEO, and the new board is very, very diligent at trying to solve the problems. For instance, they've said we need to make payments on average of 4 billion rand a month to try and pay everyone who has claimed. Now, the problem comes when we can't, by law, pay claims that we haven't received all the documents. For example, if you have an accident with your car and try to claim from your insurance and you don't have all the documents, they won't give you your money. But, surprisingly, either lawyers or people neglect to supply us with all the documents. But with the new board, they've said at least all the claims that qualify for payments. We need to pay on average 4 billion in the next several months, and they will find the money because we currently only have 6 billion in our reserves.
But just give us a bit of context and perspective as to how did we really get here, Mr. Polela?
We've always been here. It's not how did we get here. We've always been here. For instance, around 1989, the Road Accident Fund went bankrupt. It was at the time administered and being run by the private sector, and in the 90s it was administered by one insurance company, and again it went bankrupt. So it's not a matter of how did we get here. It's a matter of we've always been here. We need to fix this once and for all. Like I said, we're going to an 8th Commission of Inquiry run by SCOPA, starting from this coming week. 8th. At some point, we have to fix the institution.
Yeah, and that fix that you talk about clearly points to that it won't be an overnight thing that will happen. And if the news reports are anything to also go by, I mean, we're seeing some of those reports, even by News 24 reporting that figure of about 546 million rand as the amount that was paid to foreign nationals, with many pointing to that the fund is now being abused. Chat to us about the legal basis for paying those claims, and just how do you balance, compassion with accountability. And I ask this in the greater scheme of having verification systems that are somewhat watertight in guarding against duplication and fraud within the system in dispersing those funds and making sure that the right people get their funds.
I will reply in two ways. Number one, you asked about the basis of paying foreign nationals. You must remember that we inherited a law that was luring people to come into the country during the times of apartheid because nobody wanted to come here. And as a sweetener, the government of the day said, if you come here, unlike other countries, we will also pay you if you're involved in an accident. Now, that never happens in other countries. I lived in the United Kingdom, in Britain. I was qualified for benefits because I lived for a much longer period, but I was also invited by the government of Britain to come and study in that country. If I go to Swaziland, I'm just giving you an example of countries around us, Botswana, Zimbabwe. If I get involved in an accident, they will stabilize me and then send me back to South Africa. And so it's ridiculous that we're paying foreign nationals that are legally here in the country. It's even more ridiculous that we're paying those that are illegally here in the country, because when we went to court, the judges of the high courts told us that the people who are here illegally but constitutionally.
And the fund has cycled through multiple CEOs. Let's look at the structures as well now. CEOs as well as boards. Just how stable is the fund's leadership right now? And how many acting appointments are in key positions at this current stage? Because many argue that there is no way strategic reform can survive if institutional memory resets every few months.
Well, it's not every few months, it's every few years. But you asked about acting positions. Too many to be acceptable is the answer that I'll give to you, and I'm being brutally honest. However, the current board has already advertised the position of CEO, because we have an acting CEO with the expiry of the contract of the previous CEO. They've also advertised the strategic positions that have remained vacant, and you have acting people for quite a lengthy period of time. So now we have a reset, we have a new board, and we're excited about the changes that are coming through.
And, Mr. Polela, if you can just give us a bit of perspective now on the current status of backlogs on claims, if you can give us an actual figure that we're sitting at now, and some of those delays as well as addressing some of those delays for South Africans that are watching right now and are grappling with the Road Accident Fund. What do you say to them?
Well, a few months ago, the last time we checked, we had in our books 321,000 claims. And when we did the count, just about over 200,000 of those claims were on backlog. And when we made payout for the past financial year, we paid about 45 billion and we had a shortfall of around 16 billion. I've already told you now that we need about 20 billion to pay out, and we have 6 billion that we have in our reserves, and the current board is trying to find the money. And on average, we're going to be paying 4 billion to try and cater for everyone, at least those the claims for which we've received all the documentation and we've gone through the process. So that's where we stand.
Take you back to this now. South Africa continues to observe the month of October as Transport Month. And as a program, we're also raising awareness on the role of the transport sector in the country's economy and society. The 2024-2025 festive season road safety statistics showed that over 1,500 people died on the roads, and this is an increase in road fatalities from the previous year. Regrettably, this also highlights the road users continue to disobey traffic laws, which has had tragic consequences for injured survivors, and many families are in pain about losing a loved one in a road crash. A state entity to consider at this time is the Road Accident Fund, and we did invite you to call us on the numbers that we made available to you on the screen. And I understand now we do have the spokesperson for the Road Accident Fund, McIntosh Polela, who's back on the line for us to field some of those questions and queries that you might have right here on the program. So let's get Temba from Limpopo, who joins us now. A very good morning to you, Temba. Thank you so much for joining us. We have Mr. McIntosh Polela on the line. Okay, it seems like we don't have Temba yet on the line, but there will be a Temba that will be coming on. And Mr. Polela, as we continue, to have this conversation, we've had a conversation on why some of the problems actually exist with the Road Accident Fund. There's got to be a point where now we move from all of that to finding out how we really clean up the house and get it in order to make sure that we have a Road Accident Fund that is certainly fit for purpose.
Indeed. Look, the dysfunction has to come to an end at some point. What is important currently, as you and I speak, is that we have a board that has come in and diligently is trying to fix the institution, to try and make sure, as you were talking about, a system where we fast-track the claims, we use the technology to make sure that we have less people intervention as possible, that we defer to the technology to give us a trace of who has touched what. That will help us with the corruption that you were talking about. But it is important for us to appeal and pray to our lawmakers in Parliament to pass the bill that is currently sitting with the Minister of Transport, and she has said that it needs to be an act in order to fix this institution. We're excited about that, but we're excited that we have a leadership that has seen it fit to try and make as many payouts that are possible. Possible because, as I said, we will make payments where we've received all the documentation. Those claims have gone through the process. But again, let's come back to what you suggested before. It is important to fix the Road Accident Fund, because if the Road Accident Fund collapses, a lot of people are going to suffer.
Indeed, and that's why I also want us to now hear from Nomahlubi, who joins us from Gauteng. A very good morning to you, Nomahlubi. Thank you so much for calling into the agenda. Mr. Polela is in studio. What is your question, comment, or query?
Oh, thank you so much, and good morning. My question is around a claim that was made a while back, and I wanted to know whether REV has got a process of ensuring that the beneficiary gets the amount that's due to them through the lawyers. Because I got a sense that the money that were paid was very little. When we went back to complain, within a period of 1 month, more money was paid in, and I just get a sense that some money was kept back. Is there any way that one can check?
Mr. Polela, go ahead and field that one for us. That is from Nomahlubi, who joins us in Gauteng on the line.
Nomahlubi, fortunately, there is a way that you can check. Before October of 2023, you couldn't do so because you were at the mercy of the lawyers. Now you can check You just have to call a number. We introduced a contact center, and the number is 087 820 1111. And I hope that my friends in the studio can post it up for you so that you can take the number, because obviously I've said it quickly because of time, because we are in a live interview. But yes, of course, there is a way that you can check. We call us, you give us your ID number and the ID number of the person that has claimed, and we'll tell you exactly how much award you have received.
Okay, if we can just rehash that number for us, Mr. Polela, so we can put it up on the screen just one more time.
It's a 087 820 1111.
All right. And that number again is 087 820 1111. Let's take Adam now, who joins us from Limpopo. A very good morning to you, Adam. What's your question, comment, or query for us this morning?
Morning.
A very good morning.
My comment is mine is not a compensation for the car accident. It's a compensation for the company injuries.
For the company?
Yes, I have an accident with on the company while I was working.
Okay.
So that was 2014.
All right. So you still have not been compensated for that accident. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Mr. Polela, go ahead, please.
Was that in a car? Was it in a company car? That's what I'm trying to find out so that I can try and assist the gentleman better.
Yes, that's what he says.
Well, if it was in a company car, there are several aspects to think of. One, was he a driver of that car or was he a passenger? If he was a passenger, yes, he will automatically will have claimed from us and obviously would have to be paid. But if he was a driver, because I need to explain to people that the Road Accident Fund currently, as it stands, does not automatically pay drivers, especially if it's your mistake. We only pay where there are two drivers involved, because one of them will be in the wrong and one of them will be a victim. So the one in the wrong, the one who caused an accident, will not be paid. So he just has to think of these several aspects. Was he a driver? Did he cause the accident? We don't pay him. Period.
Okay, and this, he says he's been waiting since 2014. Adam, are you still there on the line? Okay, it looks like we've lost him. And also, just to piggyback over that answer, Mr. Polela, I think also just around awareness and ensuring that the public has and is aware of some of these campaigns that you're bringing around bringing the Road Accident Fund closer to the people. Talk to us about those awareness campaigns. Do you have them? And perhaps also, how do people just make sure that they get in touch with the fund in case they've got some other queries that they might like to extend to you?
We have plenty of campaigns. We have invested a lot of resources to the point where, we have got the attention of Parliament, where they want to look at the communications budget. So the idea was, when I came into the Road Accident Fund, we need to have a situation where the people of South Africa have an interaction with the brand called the Road Accident Fund at any given point using multiple channels. In other words, if they're watching SABC, they're listening to SABC radios, they are listening to a private radio station or private television station, anywhere they interact with the fund. So we've got a lot of platforms, including the SAB, especially during the times of busy, like the festive season, the back to school, we have a back to school campaign, we have an Easter campaign, we have a winter campaign, because we lose people during winter when it's dark for most of the time of the day. And so we have a lot of platforms where we're creating awareness to try and give people as much as possible about the Road Accident Fund.
All right, let's take another caller. We've got Temba joining us from Limpopo. Very good morning to you, Temba. Go ahead.
Yes, my question is, I do understand everything about the delay and escape. More especially, you see someone having a claim from 2014 until today. It's for how long? It's a long period. And then you see sometimes you get loss of any, but general damages. It's a lot of perils. I don't know what the problem was. These things about them. I wanted to know about. It takes a long time, more than 10 years. What's the problem?
Okay, Mr. Polela, I'm sure you got that, although that line was a bit faint. I think it's around the delays around the payouts.
I got it perfectly, sir. So, as you and I have discussed it earlier, the delays that we get because of a number of things. One, you claim through a lawyer, and we don't get all the documents. And you must understand that the lawyers are not in the business of settling. They want to extract as much money as possible from the road accident fund on behalf of their clients. It's their job. So what they do is they send the client to as many health experts as possible. Over a number of years, while we're waiting for them to supply these documents so that I have as big a file as possible when it comes to us. Now, after we have processed the document, we aim to make a payout within 180 days. Sometimes we have systemic delays where, like I was telling you, we just don't have enough money. We paid, as I said, around 45 billion in the past financial year. We still had a shortfall of 16 billion. What does that mean? We still have people in the queue that are waiting for us to pay them. And hence I keep saying to you, I'm excited about the new board that has said we need to pay out at least on average 4 billion a month so that we can cover everyone whose file we have processed. But we also appeal to the lawyers to try and shorten the time at which they bring their files, complete files, to us.
All right, that was Temba in Limpopo, and I hope you got some joy from that response. And I know that we have Adam back on the line now to come and give us a bit of clarity as well around his case in particular. Adam, so Mr. Polela was asking if you were a driver or a passenger when your accident happened. Talk to us about what actually happened and give us as much details as possible so we are able to give you a detailed response with the information that you give us.
Thanks, Mulungisi.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mulungisi.
Go ahead, my brother.
Mine is different. It's not a road accident. It's injury in duty.
Okay.
I was working in other companies, I can't say the name, but that was 2015, and I broke my left leg.
All right.
Okay, so I went to hospital for 9 months. Then I was returning to work on the 2nd of January 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And from that week, I took my papers to not road accident. What do we call it?
Okay. Adam, so the thing is now we are tackling road accident fund related matters. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm picking up that perhaps this might be labor related?
Yes, but it's a compensation fund, which is the office director.
Okay, which makes total sense. Which makes total sense. I think this would be a query that we would be able to address at another stage when we perhaps talking about it. We had initially invited callers just on the road accident fund. So Mr. Polela, who's on the line now, is the spokesperson for the road accident fund, and he's here to address all road accident fund related matters, Adam. But thank you so much in the meantime. We'll park your details as well as make sure that we keep them on record so we're able to perhaps bring you back on the line when we pick up a conversation that relates to that. And Mr. Polela, I think this is time for us to now just wrap this conversation, and thank you so much for your time right here on the program. Thank you so much also for coming on and addressing some of those matters. Just a quick one, your quick parting shot for South Africans as we wrap this conversation up.
There are two things that have to happen for us to be able to fix the road accident fund. One is the one that is currently happening now with the board, working very hard to try and ensure that we pay all the claims that qualify to be paid out. But number two, we have a prayer that we have sent to the Department of Transport that will be sent to Parliament by way of a bill that we are hoping that is going to fix all the problems that we currently have at the Road Accident Fund. And thank you for your platform. I really do appreciate it, sir.
It's only a pleasure, Mr. Polela. Thank you so much. We park it here for this segment, at least I'm told. Mr. McIntosh Polela is spokesperson for the Road Accident Fund, joining us there.